I believe we are live. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live stream. I am your host. They call me, well, they call the channel unofficially IMO, and that is exactly what this is. It is an opinion that is mine and my thoughts and my 2 cents on the everyday craziness that goes on in this world, whether it is politics, breaking news, you name it. Whoa, we are a little loud on the music there. Whoa, we are a little loud. I always have the hardest time trying to get this music right. We are a type of channel that covers a lot of different topics and a variety of different things that is happening in this world and the things that are going on in our everyday lives, breaking news, entertainment, you name it, we cover it. We go over it. We have fun doing it. And I feel that today is a day that I wanted to go live on this channel. I believe this is our 4th live stream that we have had in the last, probably within the last month or so. Just kind of give it in a minute here. Make sure everything is good to go for the live stream. It's looking like we're all set. It is looking like we are all set. Just kind of waiting for some folks to come up in here before we get started with the live stream. Come on in. Get it going, ladies and gentlemen. Get it going. Get it going. I am a one-man operation here. I am definitely a one-man operation. I control everything on this side of the camera. I control the music. I control the chat. I control everything that you see here. I am a one-man army when it comes to this channel. Before we jump into today's topic, which is it is a very hot topic indeed. We have just give me 1 second here. There we go. Hey, we got some folks up in here. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. The channel, what we call around here is unofficially IMO, which the IMO stands for, in my opinion. And today I decided to go live on this channel because I wanted to talk about the craziness that is happening in Minneapolis. The last time we went live, we shifted from, well, we didn't shift. We were talking about Tim Walz and the fraud that was going on in Minnesota, and we had a little bit of a conversation on it. And we talked a little bit about the raid in Venezuela with Nicolas Maduro and his wife, and we kind of talked about that for a minute. Now, it seems that the atmosphere has shifted quite a bit in the last 24 hours or so. And we're here to talk about what that shift was. Let's go ahead and get down into it. And I'll break down my thought process about the whole thing, just so I can kind of let you know what I'm thinking. And we'll just kind of go from there. I have some prepared remarks, so I'll go ahead and read those right now. Yesterday, January 7th, in South Minneapolis, a 37-year-old let me start that over. Yesterday, January 7th, in South Minneapolis, a 37-year-old American citizen, mother of 3, poet named Renee Nicole Good, was fatally shot by an ICE agent during what's being called a massive federal immigration enforcement operation. Renee was in her maroon SUV on Portland Avenue when agents approached. Videos now commands being shouted, the vehicle maneuvering, reversing, then moving forward, and then shots were fired. She crashed into a parked car and unfortunately, she did not make it. The official Department of Homeland Security line about the whole thing, not lying, but the line that they're saying is the agent acted in self-defense after Renee allegedly weaponized her vehicle, trying to run over officers, and reportedly injured the officer, but he is now recovering. If not, he has fully recovered at this point. They called it a direct result of a demonization of law enforcement by sanctuary city leaders. But local officials like Governor Tim Walz and Mayor Jacob Frey reviewed the footage and called bullshit on that. So everybody remembers when he went in front of that press conference and he called the whole entire thing bullshit. And he told ICE agents to pretty much get the fuck out. So that was that whole entire fiasco went viral. Everybody remembers that. Walz said it was propaganda. And again, Frey, was it Frey or Fry? I think it's Frey. Straight up told the ICE agents to pretty much just get the fuck out of Minneapolis. Even Kamala Harris weighed in, saying that the video makes the Trump administration's explanation look like gaslighting. Now protesters has erupted. Immediately, vigils for Renee, calls for accountability. Schools were also canceled. Clashes with feds using tear gas as well. We all saw that. And on the flip side, though, administration supporters, including J.D. Vance, when you look at it from the other side, are backing the agents 100%, saying that we're going to enforce the law harder. And today, the FBI took full control of the investigation, freezing out Minnesota state authorities. No joint probe, no access to evidence. Walz called it deeply concerning. And when you look at the whole thing, unofficially, of course, in my opinion, the whole entire thing is definitely tragic. It's not a laughing matter. A life that has been lost, a family has been shattered and broken in the whole entire thing. And the videos, well, I mean, the videos are a whole nother thing in itself. They're out there from different angles and people are just dissecting them frame by frame. So there's multiple angles. There's obviously the main angle as well that you keep seeing on the news. They keep replaying that angle over and over and over. Some say she was turning away and then there was no threat at all. Others point to her accelerating towards the agent. You know, that she was protesting, impeding, panicking, or was it something else, right? Where in this hyper polarized mess where one side sees murder by overreach and the other side sees a justified force against interference. With the other thing is, you know, there's always going to be two very dramatic breakdowns of opinion on what somebody sees versus what someone else saw. And with the feds locking down the probe, questions about transparency are going to linger. In this live stream, what we're going to do is that we'll take a look at the footage, obviously, maybe some reactions from officials and maybe some reactions from other folks about their take on the entire thing, whether it's on the side that you agree with, or maybe it's on the side of something totally different and you disagree with the entire outcome of the situation altogether. So stick around. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and give a thumbs up on the channel. And if you're new here, make sure you do that. It greatly supports the channel. It helps the algorithm on YouTube push it out to other people so they can find our channel. So like the video, subscribe, turn on all the notifications so you don't miss any time that I actually go live or that I upload a video. I see you guys in the chat there. You are popping off there, and I have not had a chance to actually read through it yet. And for those of you that are here, I do appreciate you. Thank you for sticking around. So the whole entire breakdown of what happened here is very tragic. And when you watch the footage of what happened, when you see, you know, like I said, there's different angles that you can look at. There's different sides to the story. There's different ways to see it, and everybody's going to have their own official outlook of the situation, right? Whether it's right or wrong. And we really don't know the straight facts yet of actually just like what happened. All we have is what we can see with our eyes. And that's pretty much it for me, right? But for me, what I saw was ICE agents that approached her vehicle. They get out of her vehicle. The ICE agents get out of their vehicle. As far as I know, I'm pretty sure you can hear it in the video that they're telling her to exit the vehicle. It's looking like she did not exit the vehicle, obviously. And what it looks like for me is she went to go back up. She did turn the wheel as if she was trying to back up at an angle. And then she turns the wheel and then she drives forward. And right there in front of her is an ICE agent. Now, I'm not any sort of a law enforcement expert. I don't understand as far as like the training that they go through because I've never been through that before. But you've heard time and time again from past video footage of situations similar to that is if an officer, whether it's a federal agent or local law enforcement, whatever the case may be, if they fear that their lives are in jeopardy, if they fear for their lives or fear for their safety, then they're going to take the appropriate steps necessary to protect themselves. And that's what that ICE agent did. It looks like he took the necessary steps to protect himself. Now, did he have to shoot his weapon? Did he have to fire his weapon? I believe it was 3 times. Did he have to do that? A lot of people are going to speculate that too. A lot of people that I've heard on both sides, when he fired his weapon, they're saying that he didn't have to fire his weapon. Some people might look at it and say his life wasn't in danger. He didn't have to use deadly force at all. And then you have others that might sit there and say he acted in the correct response and that he did what he had to do to protect himself. And also too, that, you know, a lot of people will tell you that when somebody's in the car and they are fleeing, that is a weapon that they're using. And that could be used as a way of harming the officer or others. And as far as their training goes, and you can look this up too, is they're going to, the officer is going to do what they feel is necessary to eliminate the threat. And was that 1 shot? Was that 2 shots? Was that 3 shots? Was that, you know, whatever the case may be, they're always going to tell you whatever it takes to eliminate the threat. Did he have to shoot at her when she was driving away? I don't know. I wasn't put in that position. I don't know what I would have done. Did he fear for his life? I don't know. I don't even think he was interviewed yet. I don't know if he was or not. I don't know if there's any reports out there of him getting interviewed, because typically, usually right after the incident did happen, or when an incident like that does happen, they typically take you to the police station and they interview you. But it's looking like they didn't do that because he was hit by the vehicle. You can agree or disagree with how he was hit. He wasn't like severely injured or ran over. Obviously, we can see that. But he was hit by the vehicle. He did go to the hospital and he was treated for it. And obviously he was released. I'm hearing and seeing reports too, when you watch the video, that he actually walked up to the car or to the vehicle, the ICE agent, and he just kind of looked into the vehicle and walked away. I've been hearing, you know, other people like on other radio talk shows saying that he was in, you know, a position to where he could have potentially saved her life, but she was bleeding out and he did nothing about it and he just walked away. Was he traumatized? Was he shocked? Just the sheer shock of him realizing what he did and he didn't know how to react to it. And us as human beings, we don't know how we're going to react to anything unless we're actually put into that position. So it's hard to say what that ICE agent was going through and like what he was thinking in that actual time of when all this occurred. We really don't know how we would react to it. But You're going to have people that think that it's just straight up murder and he should be charged with murder. You're going to have people say that it was justified. It's just a matter of opinion at this point. We really don't know what's going to happen, but I will tell you something else. And again, I'll look at the chat here in just a moment. I do see you guys in there and I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you. One of the things that I've seen, and it's driving me nuts, is that Kristi Noem is sitting there and saying that it's deemed as an act of domestic terrorism. I don't know if I believe that. I don't necessarily agree with to a certain extent, because this woman was in the wrong place at the wrong time. She was there when she probably shouldn't have been there. She probably shouldn't have been doing whatever she was doing that day. Was she protesting? I still don't really know I think she was impeding a protest. Like, she was just there and she wasn't moving or getting out of the way. I don't know 100% of the facts on that. I'm just speculating based on the video that I watched. And to me, is it an act of domestic terrorism when you watch the video? I don't think so. When you think of domestic terrorism, you think of somebody, for example, for me to justify that it was domestic terrorism would be for her to get in the car, to stay in the car and continue to run over people, or to try to run over multiple ICE agents, to run over innocent bystanders, using her car as an actual weapon to cause bodily harm, if not death, to other civilians, using her car as the weapon. Then I would say, okay, she's trying to hurt, if not kill, innocent bystanders with her vehicle by using it as a weapon. Okay, I'd say that's probably a form of domestic terrorism. To me, that's not what it was. Was she trying to run over the officer? It looked like she was trying to, but then you see other angles and it looks like she's just trying to drive off. But the thing about it is the ICE officer was standing in front of the vehicle. So the ICE officer, in his mind, if I'm putting myself in his shoes, if I'm trying to think what we really don't, we can't possibly know what he was thinking at that time. It's probably such a blur to this guy right now. He's probably scared to death. He's probably so shocked about what happened. He's probably questioning his mentality during this whole situation, thinking to himself, did I do the right thing? Did I screw this up? Did I make a very vital mistake that has caused this woman to lose her life? Or did he know exactly what he was doing? Did he use his training to eliminate the threat by firing 3 shots at this individual? I don't know. I really don't know. But if he deemed that his life was in danger, then him fearing that he was going to get run over by her, I mean, at that point, it's looking like it might be justified, right? Could potentially be justified. It's hard to say, you know. We're going to see a lot more as far as, more details in the coming days. I mean, it's been dominating the news cycle over the last day and a half or so. Day and a half. What are we on? We're going on to almost 2 days now. And we really don't know what's going to happen. I think the Minneapolis is trying to charge this ICE individual on charges at the local level. And I don't think that they can, because he's a federal ICE agent. So that's federal. So that's out of their jurisdiction. And if you listen to JD Vance today, it's I think he mentioned something along the lines of saying that they can't try him at the local level. And even if they did, a judge would most likely throw it out. That's probably what would happen, because he's a federal agent. But at the same time, you look at it and you have to ask yourself, out of the entire thing, was it justified or was it not? You be the judge, right? And that's all I really have to say about my opening remarks on the whole entire situation. And at the end of the day, it's sad. I mean, it's sad. A woman had a family. She had a family. She had, she probably had a lot of things going for her in her life, and she was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't believe ICE agents were trying to do something. They were trying to do their job, whether you agree with them being there or not. They have a job to do. And they were trying to do it. And there's people there trying to stop them from doing their job. Right. And it caused her to lose her life because she was there at the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, I'm pretty sure her family, if they had it to do all over again, if that woman had, if she had it to do all over again, I'm pretty sure she would change her mind and not want to be there that day. I'm pretty sure that Renee Good would not be there. She would turn the other cheek and walk the other way, right? Just wouldn't even be there. But it is what it is. It has happened. It's done. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. We really will. Let me take a look at the chat here. I appreciate you guys. She was out of control with her actions, insanity behind the wheel, deadly weapon. Yeah, when you look at it from that aspect of it, yeah, her car was being used as a deadly weapon, and the officer is treating it as, like I said, his life was in danger, and he eliminated the threat to where his life wasn't in danger anymore. And like I said, not just his life, but the lives of other ICE officers and potentially innocent bystanders as well. So, and a lot of people are going to say it's murder, and a lot of people are going to say it's justified. I think a lot of people are split on that. It just depends on your thought process on the whole thing. She would have at least asked an Antifa for a bigger check. Yeah, it's very sad. The whole situation is very sad. No, she tried to wave ICE car to go around. Now, when you first look at the video itself and you see her, to me, when the first couple seconds, it's looking like she was trying to go around. But the issue was the ICE agent. Now, again, I don't know their training. Are they trained? I'm not a law enforcement officer. I'm not a federal agent. I mean, their training is somewhat similar, that I do know. But is the officer trained to get in front of the vehicle when somebody is trying to flee from the scene? Are they trained to stand in the front and actually prevent that person from driving off? And if that's the case, then he was just doing what he was trained to do, right? But I don't know if that's how they're trained. I really don't know. FAFO game. I think a lot of people are just trying to get, people are there trying to get a reaction out of ICE agents. Obviously they're there protesting, and they just don't want them being there for whatever their reasons are. They just don't like ICE agents being in their city. And they go down there and they make a ruckus and a fuss over everything, and they're protesting, and her, like I said, it was a combination of her being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Had she, now I will tell you this, and you could disagree with me if you want to, had she followed the orders to get out of the vehicle, she would be alive today. She'd be alive today. Had she followed commands and put the car in park and got out of the vehicle, she'd be alive today. But she chose the other route. She chose option B. It looked like she was going to flee. And had she not got fired upon by the ICE agent, she would have taken off. And then what? Then what would have happened if she would have taken off? If she was to flee and take off, let's just say she did that and she didn't get shot at. Now there's a chase being done by the agents, if not local law enforcement. Now they're chasing this woman and her vehicle. Now to me, she's deemed even more of a threat because she's within city limits and she's trying to run away from law enforcement. And with the roads being the way they were, icy and snowy roads, and the conditions were obviously not good being on the road, who's to say that she would have put other lives in danger by trying to run away from law enforcement, you know? So, I mean, you can spin it any way you want. That's how I see it. If she was to get away, she was probably going to get chased. And that may not have been a very good outcome either when you look at it from that way. So, there are other forces here trying to tear us apart. You talk about within the chat, and I know this is a very, very touchy subject, and a lot of people are going to have their opinions. I'm just giving you mine, and you know, you can disagree with them or not, or you can agree. I'm just going by what I saw, and to me, it's looking like it's going to be justified, because when you look at other officer involved shootings in the past, if an officer sits there, you can believe the officer or not, but if an officer sits there and says, I thought my life was in danger, so I had to protect myself. Most of it, not all the time, but most of the time, they're justified shootings. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. They really don't. But you have to sit there and put yourself in the officer's shoes. You have to put yourself in their shoes. And you have to try to get into his mindset, which is virtually impossible. But you can speculate and say, okay, if I was put in that situation, I would do X, Y, and Z. And that's what a lot of people would like to think. But until you're put into that situation, we really don't know what we would have done. We can say all day long, I would have done this, I would have done that. But at the end of the day, we really don't know what we would have done. Now, you would like to think that you would have gotten out of the way of the vehicle. You know, I'm not going to sit here and potentially get ran over. I would like to think, for me, if I was put into that situation, for me, I would like to think that if I was in front of the vehicle, number one, I never would have even put myself in front of the vehicle. Again, I don't know their training. Maybe they're trained to do that. I don't know. But I never would have wanted to put myself in front of the vehicle if somebody is behind the wheel and it's looking like they're going to drive off. I would never put myself in harm's way in that situation. And number two, I would have got out of the way. I would have tried to get out of the way, right? It's kind of like almost the situation you hear people say, why did they have to shoot them in the chest? Why did they have to shoot them in the head? Why did the officers have to do that? The other thing with officer involved shootings, if you know anything about the police academy or going through, police training, they're not trained to, like, why didn't you shoot them in the ankles? Let's just say it was on foot. They don't train you to shoot at the legs. They don't train you to shoot at the ankles. They train you to shoot center mass. And where's center mass? Right here. Center mass from the chest up to the head. That's where you're trained to shoot. Okay. That's where you're trained to aim. That I do know. Okay. And did his training kick in? Possibly. Again, I don't know if the officer or officers are trained to get in front of a vehicle. And I've seen other police officer involved shootings, like police videos of them getting in shootouts with people, and then they're in their car, or not even a shootout. They're just in the car at a traffic stop. And I've seen cops get in front of cars before trying to get the car to stop. Like, stop, don't drive. Don't go any further. Stop the vehicle. Stop, get out of the car. And then they drive off. Sometimes the officer's on the hood of cars and then they drive off, right? Sometimes you see that. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on that. Like, does the officer have to be in front of the vehicle? For me, I don't want to get ran over, so I'm going to get the hell out of the way. I don't want to play the faithful game with these people, especially if they're crazy. I want to get out of harm's way and I want to live to see another day. But as I've stated earlier into this this craziness that's going on right now. And had she just got out of the vehicle, she would have survived. She would have been with us to this day. But unfortunately, that is not what happened. So one of the things I do want to do, ladies and gentlemen, before I start checking out the chat, and again, I do appreciate y'all coming in here and hanging out with me here tonight. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We are new here. This is brand new. We just recently started this channel. It's been over a month now. We have a handful of videos. This is about our 4th live stream. So this is very much something that I'm still trying to get used to on my end. And if you like the content in any way, shape, or form, if you want to see more of my content, don't be afraid to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications as well so you don't miss any time that I upload a video or that I go live. Let's check out some things over on the side of X. Now, I know X isn't the most popular platform with a lot of people, but I feel like X is where I can find a lot of what's going on in the world as far as videos, and just get a wide variety of different opinions on whatever subject that I'm looking at or talking about. So I like to visit X for a lot of things like this. So this video, let me take a look here.
Frame by frame on this one. Keep an eye on this guy.
Hold on one second. So before I play this video, let me hit pause. Let's break down exactly what this is, and then I'll go ahead and restart it as well. So this one from this Brooklyn Dad guy, he's saying that this is one of the best frame by frame breakdowns here by Brianna Perez of the Minnesota ICE shooting, proving without a doubt that the ICE agent wasn't in danger, and he'd murdered Renee. Good. Make sure everyone sees it. This is what he is saying here in this video. So let's take a look at this video. Let's see what this this TikTok spread is saying regarding the situation here.
I want to show you something. We can go frame by frame on this one. Keep an eye on this guy, the cold-blooded murderer, who's no doubt going to claim that he was afraid that his life was in danger or whatever. For someone who's going to no doubt claim that, he sure doesn't seem to be in any hurry to move out of the way. See, here you can see that instead of moving out of the way.
So when I first saw the video, this is obviously a frame by like a breakdown, a very in-depth breakdown of the video. You can see, I didn't notice the officer in front of the vehicle right at first. I noticed him kind of off to the side, but I didn't know he was directly off to the side like that until I saw him come into play. But it's looking like he's off to the left side of the vehicle, not directly in front of it.
He actually decides to draw his weapon and actually plant himself more firmly. In fact, he's leaning over the hood of the car right now on purpose. If you go,
so he's okay. So he's this has music on it too, by the way. We may not be able to watch this for copyright reasons, but it's looking like she is not too keen or too happy about what's about to take place.
Frame by frame, you can see his feet are actually beside the vehicle.
Oh wait, that sounded like music. That's not. I don't think that's music. I think that's just her slowing the video down in slow-mo.
This point, and there is the first time he pulls the trigger, when again both of his feet show that he has fully cleared the front of that vehicle. And then the next two shots happen here.
Okay.
And then here.
Okay, so again, he is, for me, he's treating it as I need to eliminate the threat. And in his state of mind, the threat was to be eliminated by 3 gunshots.
Both of which, where he's very clearly having to aim through the driver's side window, and actually appears to be running after the vehicle to catch up to it. This, by the way, after very clearly signaling to the ICE officers to pass by her on that street, which she was very clear.
So is that what she's doing? Is she waving down ICE agents right now? Is she waving them down? Is that what you guys see? Because her hand did come out of the window. Let's rewind it for a second here. I didn't see, I wasn't paying it. Well, I noticed that before, but I'm like, is she trying to get their attention, or is she waving them down? which that's really interesting. Let's rewind it and take a look at it again.
Passed by her on that street, which she was very clearly not blocking nor obstructing, because he's signaling to the ICE officers to pass by her on that street, which she was very...
Is she waving down ICE officers, or is she waving traffic by? To me, it looked like she was waving down, like waving people by. Let me rewind it one more time.
Running after the vehicle to catch up to it. This, by the way, after very clearly signaling to the ICE officers to pass by her on that...
Was that an ICE officer, or was that just a citizen
that street,
was there?
Which she was very clearly not blocking nor obstructing, because...
Okay, I don't know if that was an ICE agent. Maybe it was.
Earlier, when she first started to pull out, another vehicle started pulling out similarly and crossed in front of her. So she was telling the next one to go on ahead. Not posing a threat, not obstructing, nor impeding anything. Would you look at that?
Okay, so do you guys agree with that? Is that what you see? Was she instructing traffic to go by, or was she waving just people or ICE agents? I don't know. Maybe that was an ICE agent in that vehicle that she was trying to wave by. I really don't know. So I just kind of wanted to take a look at that video and see exactly what folks are trying to say as far as like different angles and their opinions on the matter. Let's take a look at some other things here too. So here's the I haven't watched some of these videos. So this is looking like it's a full 4-minute video, 4 minutes and almost 30-second video about what's going on and what's happening here. So let's take a look and see. Okay, so we got the ICE agents that's pulling up in an unmarked vehicle. He's getting out of the vehicle. So again, he's instructing her to get out of the car. Now, for me, if she just would have gotten out of the vehicle, I think things would have been very different for her. No! Okay, so now she's trying to flee. No! See, there's the ICE agent right there. You see that's what I was talking about earlier. Did he get out of the car here? See, I did not see him in this frame until he comes around over this side. There he is. Okay, you see how he just kind of appeared there? Okay, so yeah, that's kind of insane.
Oh my fucking god! What the fuck? What the fuck? You just fucking, what the fuck did you do?
Okay, so we don't necessarily have to watch that entire video, but we've all seen the clips, right? We've all seen what happened. But does it look like she was trying to flee to you guys, or does it look like she's trying to obstruct? Was she using her vehicle as a weapon? You be the judge. Y'all let me know. You be the judge. Everyone who said it's her fault, you are evil. Shame on you. Yeah, a lot of people have a very different opinion on the matter. They really do. In front of her kid, she was telling them to go past. See, it's looking like she was trying to, but at the same time, it's looking like she may have been trying to flee the scene. But again, when there's an officer standing in front of the vehicle, I mean, and you're being told to get out of the car, and she didn't get out of the car, and now she's trying to flee the scene. And again, if she wasn't shot at, now it's a police chase. Now we have another situation on our hands, right? Now she's trying to run from law enforcement. And again, how many other lives may have she put in danger at that point, right? We really don't know. Let's take a look and see what
time you're gonna have to ask ourselves that question. And I think the time you got to add at some point in time, you got to.
So let's rewind this here. So straight shooter with Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if you guys know who Stephen A. Smith here is, but he's really coming from the sports world to more of a mainstream media opinionated host on his podcast here. He's really starting to get a lot of attention. So let's take a look and see what he has to say about the whole thing.
Ask yourself, what damn country do you want to live in? At some point in time, we're going to have to ask ourselves that question. And I think the time is sooner than later. Because again, from a legal perspective, don't expect this ICE officer to be prosecuted. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be prosecuted. I don't think so. If it's on a federal level, he can't be prosecuted, most likely on the local side. And on a federal level, I just don't see this happening. I don't see him having to be, pulled and dragged into court and tried for this.
She was in the car, Renee Nicole Good, 37 years of age, protesting, blocking off the streets. ICE wanted her to move. An officer got in front of the car. Another officer got to the side of the car, and then she tried to take off.
Yep.
And in their eyes, the Christy Gnomes of the world for the Department of Homeland Security, and other folks on the right are saying, they consider it an act of domestic terrorism because she tried to run over an ICE officer.
Do you agree is an act of terrorism? Is this an act of terrorism in your mind? Christy Gnome, that's the one thing. If I have to pick apart something that I disagree with what's being said from the Trump administration, from Christy Gnome, is I don't agree with that statement. If she did, her saying that it was an act of domestic terrorism. I see her trying to flee, and an ICE officer was standing in front of the vehicle, and he said his life was in danger. That's what I saw. Okay, that's what I saw. I didn't see this person try to take out other innocent bystanders with her vehicle or harm others. Then I would say, okay, this is an act of domestic terrorism. And let me just say this before we move forward. Can I just clear this out of the room right here? I don't agree with Christy Gnome being in this position. I feel Donald Trump could have picked somebody a little bit more qualified to do that type of job. But who am I? Who am I? I mean, am I wrong? Am I right? I mean, what is it? Right? What is it? Possibly, right? Possibly somebody a little bit better, right? But she's just, I just can't agree with that statement that she said.
It's not going to be prosecuted. My point is, let's not focus on that for a second, okay? She was wrong to drive off.
She was.
She should not have done that.
No,
she should have asked the officer, I'm pulling over. Could you move out the way, please? Yep. Instead of trying to disregard him totally to the point where you're going to take off and potentially hit him, and he moves out the way and draws his gun and shoots through the front windshield and took her out.
So she's like, hey, I'm not getting out of the car. I'm just going to flee. I'm going to take off. Everybody that has ever worked in law enforcement knows that if you try to flee, you're either, well, you're going to get chased until the wheels fall off, most likely, but it's never a good outcome. If you try to run away from law enforcement, it never ends well. Never. Most of the time it ends in a very bad ending. If you try to run away from law enforcement, it's never a good thing, right? It's either fatal. It's either going to be you not making it in the end, or you do make it and then you end up in federal prison for the rest of your life.
But it wasn't necessary. You could have arrested.
Maybe not for the rest of your life, but for a while.
You could have spared the woman's life. You didn't have to kill her.
Yeah.
We've seen plenty of incidences throughout the United States of America, historically and frequently and recently.
Yeah.
Where people who committed
should not have been shot, period. I don't think she should have been shot either. I really don't. If she would have followed commands, she'd still be alive. I have no doubt in my mind. Had she got out of the vehicle, she would have been alive today. I'm just throwing that out there. Should he have shot her? I mean, that's going to be up to him to explain himself as to why he did so. But I can almost guarantee you that he's going to say that his life was in danger.
Crimes or people whose behavior weren't indicative of law-abiding citizens who were simply obeying law enforcement officials. We've seen them walk away alive.
Yeah.
We've seen them walk away cuffed.
Yeah.
But they walked away alive.
Yeah.
So even though the law, from a literal perspective, might be on his side, the reality is that your humanity comes into question because you didn't have to kill her. She didn't have to die. But that's the country we're living in now.
Yep. That's. Does he have a point there? I mean, does he have a point of what he said there?
We're living in a country where some people, more often than not, are becoming lawless, and law enforcement officials are not just about enforcing the law.
Yeah.
While serving and protecting.
Yep.
But they're also taking lives. At least in this case, that was the case. I believe it was totally unnecessary.
So Stephen A. Smith is very, there's some things that you can agree with him on, and then there's other things that I totally disagree with, because it's still the Democratic side of him very much so comes out majority of the time. But there's a lot of times where I agree with him on a few different things. Should this woman have passed away the way that she did? Should her life been taken the way it did? It didn't have to. For me, it didn't have to. All she had to do was follow orders, and that goes for any law enforcement. If they tell you to stop the vehicle and get out of the vehicle, just do it. Just get out of the vehicle, live to tell the tale for another day, and live to tell the tale for another. That's a tongue twister. Live to tell the tale for another day. It's just the one thing that I think now, especially now, there's going to be other law enforcement officers, not just law enforcement officers, but other ICE agents throughout the entire country, no matter where she's, not her, but no, he or she, no matter where they are in this country, especially going forward, that are generally there to just do a job that they swore an oath to do. Now they're going to be on pins and needles. Now they're going to have to sit there and wonder, if I go to work today as an ICE agent, am I going to survive? Am I going to be targeted? And ICE agents are targeted now more than ever, right? They're going to be targeted now more than ever. So, and those men and women that serve in ICE now have to look over their shoulders more so now than ever. And they shouldn't have to do that. They really shouldn't. All they're doing is protecting this country from people that shouldn't be here. And they're trying to take people off the streets that shouldn't be here. They're trying to take illegal aliens and people that have like the worst of records off the streets. That's all they're trying to do. They're just given an order of a job that they wanted to do, a career that they chose. They're just trying to do the job. A very dangerous job. It's not the most protective in terms of your life. It's very much a dangerous job. There's nothing safe about it. And after what has occurred in Minneapolis, it's even more dangerous now than it has ever been. And now these people are going to have to figure out, I don't want to say like continuing to do their job, because there are going to be ICE agents that are still going to wake up tomorrow and go to work and do their job just like anybody else. Right. But I think some of them, I mean, let's be honest, some of them are probably questioning their career choice after this, because they don't want to be killed. They don't want to be targeted. They don't want to be killed. And I think that's a very human thought process of thinking that, and not just being an ICE agent, but just law enforcement altogether, because over the last better half of 5 years, under the Biden administration, especially under the Biden administration, defunding the police and defunding ICE and all the hate, the sheer hatred that law enforcement got over the last 5 years was astronomically high. And now more so than ever, I feel it's either going to do one or two things. It's either going to cause people to want to join ICE and continue to fight for getting people out of this country that shouldn't be here, or it's going to deteriorate people. Because when Trump came into office, if anybody remembers, the recruiting numbers for the United States military was way down. Way down. Recruitment for being police officers and law enforcement, way down. Way down. And then when Trump got back into office and cleaned up that craziness that was the Biden administration, then you started seeing that the recruitment numbers started to go sky high through the roof for military, and then they went straight through the roof for law enforcement. And recruitment numbers were starting to steadily go up. And a lot of people were actually excited to do the things that they wanted to do as far as being in law enforcement. And we started to see that. Now, I feel that people are going to be scared. Not because they're scared to do the job. I think they're just going to be more scared now more than ever that they're going to be targeted even more. And they're in fear for their lives even more so. So for me, ladies and gentlemen, for me, that could be a very dangerous situation, because do not be surprised if you see more ICE agents become targets over the coming weeks, or just people trying to get a reaction out of them by putting themselves in harm's way, whatever that may look like. And then other bystanders get shot because they play the FAFO game with federal law enforcement officers. And that would not surprise me at all if that was to happen, like at all. Right. And God forbid that does happen, because we don't want that. All we're trying to do as a nation, as a country, is to protect the United States citizens, the people that are American citizens of this country, right? And the people that came here legally. We're just trying to protect those individuals, right? But when you have people out there that are impeding on federal agents and because you hate them for whatever reason, the sheer amount of hatred that these people are getting is so mind-boggling to me. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Why would somebody have that much hatred for somebody who's just trying to protect this country? That's it. All they're trying to do is do a job, to do it well, and protect people like you, people like me, just like the United States military, protecting this country, to protect our freedoms, right? That's all they're trying to do. Now they got to fucking look over their shoulder every 5 seconds and wonder, am I going to be taken out by somebody from behind my back? Am I going to live to see tomorrow? We don't know. We really don't know. God forbid something like that happens. And I'll say this too, that the whole entire situation that happened in Minneapolis, it's sad. It's sad. It's depressing. I feel for her family, for Miss Renee's family. I feel for her family, because now they have lost a loved one on account of just the sheer fuckery that occurred because of what, and just because of her being where she was that day. Right. The whole entire thing is sad. It's just depressing. Right. But at the same time, at least for me, if I'm going somewhere and I'm pulled over or I'm stopped by ICE, by FBI, by local law enforcement, any police officer, whatever it is. If they tell me to get out of the car, they have guns. I don't. I'm going to get the fuck out of the car. I'm going to get out, right? I don't want to be shot. I don't want an officer to think I'm trying to be aggressive and then I end up playing the faithful game and getting shot. I don't want that. I'm going to follow instructions. I'm going to follow commands. I'm going to listen to the officer. I'm going to get out of my vehicle. Okay. So that's what I would think I would do in a situation like this. Put the car in park, get out. Okay. I'm out. What do you need from me? Identification? Hang on. I got it. It's right here. What else you need? Birth certificate? Driver's, social security card, proof of citizenship. What you want? I got you, officer. I got you. Right here. Blood sample? Sure. You got, DNA? What you want? I got you. And I know it's like kind of a joke about it right now, but I mean, I'm serious. Like, I don't want to impede on anybody's investigation. If they feel like I'm deemed some sort of a threat in some way and they're telling me to follow orders and follow my commands, then I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much all I have for this topic here today. I wanted to go live. Don't forget to, again, I see there's about 108 of you in this chat. I am grateful for all you guys. You guys can either agree with me or disagree with me. This is just unofficially my opinion on this topic. And this is very much a hot topic right now. That's why I wanted to go live tonight to discuss it with you all. Okay. And it's going to be very interesting of what's going to happen over the coming days, if not weeks. We're going to be seeing fireworks on both sides. We're going to be seeing all sorts of shit popping off on both sides. You're going to have Democrats saying one thing, Republicans saying another, Kristi Noem saying domestic terrorism. You're probably going to see Donald Trump say some stuff here in the next coming, day or two. You're probably going to see more press conferences. You're going to see a lot of stuff get thrown across the aisle, back and forth. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the facts. We don't have all the facts yet, obviously. All we have is video and what's coming out of the White House. And obviously Tim Walz and the mayor of Minneapolis. We're going to be seeing that as well. So it's going to be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, please, guys. Please. I don't beg for shit. I'm just kidding. But if you would like to subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you enjoyed the live stream here today. And before I end this, let me get caught up in the chat here. Let me read some of your all's comments. America. Name and date of birth. Yes. Tell me your name and your date of birth, please. Where were you born? All that stuff, right? Why else was first time cities decided not to open up the jails? Zach Bus, appreciate you being here. Hello. When doesn't Trump say things he tweet like an attention starved child? He does say a lot of things. True Social now, he doesn't use Twitter or X as much as he once did, but he does say a lot of stuff. He really does. Wake up, America. We're in trouble. I think if I don't know, I don't know. I hope we're not. I really do. I hope we're not. Get your house in order. I watched 3 videos from multiple angles and read her wife's words on it. They went there to comfort ICE. They aimed her car at an ICE officer. She didn't graze an officer. Greg's, I think there might be some spell check in there someplace. I'm not really too sure. but I've seen a few different angles of the video as well. Obviously, the main angle, if you're a rational person and you look at that, you're going to say she tried to flee and an ICE officer is standing in her way, potentially standing in her way, and he shot and killed her because she was deemed a threat according to the ICE officer's eyes, and he eliminated the threat. That's what you're going to see. That's probably most likely what you're going to hear in the coming days, that she was a threat and I took her out because I feared for my life. I shot her because I was in fear of my life. That's what you're going to hear. And then on the other side of the aisle, or not the other side of the aisle, but if you see different camera angles, you're going to see that all she was trying to do is flee. She wasn't trying to hurt nobody. She was just trying to leave the scene. And again, that's not good either. You can't just flee from a scene. If they tell you to stop, you have to stop. I mean, a lot of people have a problem with following orders for some reason. It's crazy. They think that they're entitled to not stop. You have to stop. Because if you don't, you're just going to cause more problems for yourself. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So again, you're going to have two different things. You're going to say somebody's going to say it's murder, and the other side is going to say it's justified. And it's not murder, it's self-defense. That's the gist of it right there. That's what you're going to see. Self-defense, yes. First and Fourth Amendments mean nothing anymore. First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment. You're going to probably, you're going to try to, not try, you're going to see, you're going to see Minneapolis try to charge this ICE agent from the local level. And I don't think they're going to be able to even do that, like, period, at all, because he's a federal agent. That's federal. That's not local. That's not state. It's federal. They'll try. They'll probably try. I don't know the law is in terms of trying somebody on a situation like this from the local level, but I'm pretty sure that it's not going to work because it's federal. That's very different from local and state, right? So, and again, I think JD Vance said it today. I'm just kind of paraphrasing. He said if they even try this agent, this individual from the local level, a judge would throw it out because he can't be tried. He just can't. She made a choice. It was wrong. That's true. That's true. She had a choice. She had a choice. She had a choice to either follow the commands and listen to the agent, to the officer, or option B, which she chose option B, and we obviously had a not so good ending, not so good result on that. She was blocking traffic. End of story. Was she blocking traffic? She was waving people by, but again, you have to remember ICE agents are in unmarked cars. So was she waving ICE agents by, or was she waving by innocent bystanders or just people that were there, citizens? To me, it looked like she was waving citizens by, but you have to remember again, ICE agents are not in a car that is recognizable. They're unmarked, right? So maybe she was trying to say, hey guys, go around me, but they're like, no, you're blocking traffic here. You shouldn't be where you are right now. And it led to what it led, right? What did she say to justify being shot? I don't think you can hear anything that she was necessarily saying on the video. You do hear the ICE agent tell her to get out of the car, pretty much. But she didn't do that. And she's just using her vehicle to try to get away, right? She was trying to flee the scene. So that was, to me, that was her voice of saying, I'm not sticking around. I want out of this situation. But she should have just stopped. Just stop. You don't have to run. Just stop. You know what I mean? all she had to do was just not drive off. It's all she had to do. Just get out of the car, please. And you've probably heard let me just say me. I've seen videos of law enforcement agents literally telling people, put their car in park and get out, right? Put their car in park, get out of the car. Whatever the situation was leading up to that point, get out of the car right now. Get out of the car. And then what do? They flee, right? And then they take off. How many videos have you seen of that? Now it's a full-blown police chase. And look at how many other people that could potentially be killed on account of that person making that decision to just take off, right? I've seen a lot of videos like that. That's a lot of police chases end up starting that way. And a lot of law enforcement officers will most likely tell you, actually, no, they will tell you the most dangerous part of their job is a traffic stop. That's 100% true. A simple traffic stop from somebody running a red light or running a stop sign or whatever it is, a simple traffic violation, and they're pulled over, can go from a friendly conversation with the police officer to full-blown chaos in a matter of seconds. I've seen tons of videos like that where you're looking at the person in the vehicle and the officer and the person in the vehicle, they're having this like civilized conversation with each other. And the person in the vehicle is like super nice and super friendly. The cop is being friendly. There's really good conversation going on there. And they're both agreeing with each other. There's my license. How's your day going? Mine's good. How was yours? Blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, dude in the car it just reaches for a firearm or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, where the fuck did that come from? How did that escalate from a simple just traffic stop to full-blown shootout with law enforcement? I've seen a ton of videos like that. You can find videos like that all over YouTube. Ban assault vehicles. You mean assault weapons? Ban assault vehicles. Putting the public in danger, period. She could have, and again, that's just me. I'm just saying that's my thought process on the whole thing. In my opinion, if she would have taken off, it could have been worse. It could have ended. Her life could have potentially been ended from a serious accident running away from ICE agents. And she could have hurt other innocent bystanders in the whole entire thing. Absolutely. Full-blown shootout, JFC. She didn't have a gun. I don't know if she was armed or not. I don't know if there's any reports of that. We don't know if she was carrying any firearms or any weapons on her at the point of the incident occurring. I have no idea. She could have chose to stay home and be a loving mother. Instead, she chose to be an insurrectionist and commit an act of domestic terrorism. She definitely had a choice. Let's not forget that. She had a choice. She had a choice to either stay home that day or option B, let me go and cause issues. We all have choices, right? And everybody knows the choices that you make can result in a bad outcome based on your choices. But everybody has a choice. It's up to you to make the right one. First Amendment right. Freedom of speech. If she wanted to murder him, why drive away from him? And hold on, let me read that again. If she wanted to murder him, why drive away from him instead into him? So again, that goes to, what did you see? Did you see that she was trying to run him over, or did you see her trying to flee? What What did the video show you when you watched it? Again, you're gonna have multiple opinions on this. You're gonna see people say that she was trying to just run away and flee and drive away, and she wasn't trying to hurt anybody or run anybody over. And then you're gonna have folks that will tell you, yeah, she was trying to use her vehicle as a weapon or a missile, however you want to call it, and the ICE agent was standing in front of the vehicle. Most likely standing in front of the vehicle. If I had to put myself in his shoes, he was standing in front of the vehicle to prevent her from driving off. Because remember, they tried to get her to get out of the vehicle, but she wouldn't do it. Then when they noticed that she was trying to drive off, to me, it looked like, okay, she's trying to drive off. I'm going to get in front of this vehicle to prevent her from driving off. And again, I said this earlier. I don't know if that's part of the ICE officer's training or not. I really don't know. I mean, it very well could be, but I don't know that to be certain. She looked like she was trying to get out of there in a hurry, though. She was trying to flee. Learn by your own mistakes. Yes. Her choices, again, ended up her losing her life. And it didn't have to be that way. It really didn't. She was scared. Potentially. Unfortunately, we're not going to know her thought process at the time. And I was thinking when I first saw the footage, I was thinking to myself, there's body cam footage. Where is it? And there wasn't any. So their cameras weren't on. So there's no body cam footage. There was no other body cam footage from any of the ICE officers that were there that day, other than civilians with their cameras on, obviously. And I was like, you gotta be shitting me. You guys didn't turn on your body cameras. I thought that law enforcement had to have theirs on at all times. Like all times. You have, the minute you clock in, you have to turn on that camera, right? I thought they did. And then other people, depending upon what department you work for or what agency you work for, it's not, it's up to you if you want to turn it on or turn it off. For me, if I was a police officer, I would turn on that camera and I'd leave it on all day long. I'm not turning this thing off. It is staying on for my protection and for yours, right? And I really wish that these officers had it turned on, because I feel like that would help clear up a lot of the back and forth, right? That would help the ICE officers and the situation as a whole. Body cameras are jurisdictional. Yeah, see, I don't know how that works as far as body cameras go. My neighbor that lives down the street is in law enforcement, and he always tells me that I turn my body camera on all the time. I don't turn it off. I leave it on, because you never know. And the reason for that is because it's a he said, she said, right? In a situation where, somebody might say, well, the police officer did X, Y, and Z, and the body camera footage shows otherwise, and it shows that that's not really what happened. Here's what really happened, because I have my body camera on. And there's been times where, like, if law enforcement didn't have their body cameras turned on, it could have been a very different outcome. It could have went the opposite way, right? But that body camera footage is there to protect the officer and to protect the citizen as well. So I think they're a good thing. Can't blame others for your mistakes. Yes. Right. The camera keeps both people safe. That is true. 100%. That's because you're not planning on violating anyone's rights. So wait, hold on. I'm a little behind here. Some ICE agents do wear body cams. Whether they had them on or not is unclear at this point. That is true. I don't know why they didn't have them on. I think it's just one of those things where they have to turn them on as soon as there's a situation, if they remember, but they probably did. I thought they had them on because they were there, because of the protest, right? I figured that, yeah, let's turn on that body camera and make sure that I'm protecting myself, right? But those guys didn't have their body cameras on. That's really weird. Rip Charlie, yes. Charlie Kirk, yes. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. We all have different minds. That we do. We are Charlie. It's so crazy. 2025 was like the craziest year when it came to what happened, especially with him. It's insane. And that video floated around the internet for a while, and just, it's hard to watch. His assassination was brutal. And a lot of people forget that Charlie had, if you remember, anytime he used to go speak at these turning point things at these campuses, he would have high definition cameras pointing at him, right? Recording him. We didn't see that footage of the camera that was pointing directly at him at a close distance, high definition video footage. That footage, I highly doubt would ever be released at any point. I doubt it. All we have is just bystanders that were there that were filming the incident. But the whole entire thing was just insane. Totally insane. When you arrive at a call, you're supposed to put your body cams on. That's what I thought. I thought they had to turn them on because they were required to. But then I noticed too as well that I think it's up to the officer. It's like officer discretion. But now I think most police departments and law enforcement agencies, both, I don't know about federal, but local and state, depending upon where you live or what city you live in as the officer, where you work, I think some of them are required. You have to have them on. The division started with Obama. Yep. Barack Obama with I think a lot of that, the one thing with Obama though, when he was saying that he didn't believe that Trump was going to be president, and then Donald Trump became president, he came out and he did say, like, that's how a democracy works. He did say that, and where Donald Trump went in the election, he's like, well, yeah, the people have spoken. 2026 is going to be worse. I don't know what 2026 is going to look like. I really don't know. I hope not. I hope it's good. We're not off to a very good start, though. We're living in a crazy world out here. We are. We're living in a pretty intense world that's full of hatred and evil. And everybody's got to watch yourselves out there, ladies and gentlemen. Watch yourselves. Be cautious of your surroundings. Be aware of your surroundings. Question everything. Don't ever let something go by you and think to yourself, it's good. No, question everything and just open your eyes. You know what I mean? Be aware of everything that's around you. Everywhere. I think it was Wild Bill Hickok. Was it Wild Bill Hickok? Back in the old Wild West days, when he would go into a saloon, into a bar, and he would play cards or drink, he would never turn his back away from people. He would always sit in the back towards the wall. He'd always have his back up against the wall, so his back was never turned away from people, because he didn't trust people. He didn't want to get shot in the back or stabbed or what have you. I think that was Bill Hickok. So what I'm saying is, like, just be aware of your surroundings. You just never know with people. I mean, we live in a really violent world. You never know. You just never know. Glad for independent media. Independent media, I feel, is the best source of media that you can come across, because look at the whole Shirley. I forgot his first name. That broke open the fraud that was occurring in Minneapolis with the daycare centers with the Somalians using an iPhone. Independent journalists cracking open the case and causing all this craziness surrounding the fraud in Minneapolis. Just using a phone to record the whole entire. I think he used an iPhone to record all that. No fancy ass camera, no fancy microphones, no fancy equipment. He just broke open the story, recording the whole entire thing with his phone and creating this shitstorm of chaos that we see that is in the daycare industry world in Minneapolis. It's insane. Totally insane. Don't trust anyone, period. I feel like if you're going to trust people, I feel like you should make sure that those people that you do trust are people that you know very well. Very, very well. Talking like your wife, or your husband, your brothers, your sisters, your immediate family. It's people you've known your entire life. But people that, your friends and people that you think you know really well, your acquaintances and stuff, I think I'd have my antennas up all the time. Not saying that it's a bad thing, because it's not. You always want to just be aware, because you never know, right? You never know. Why didn't Biden release the Epstein files? Why blame Trump for not releasing it? I have my opinion on that, Chris Wick. For me, if I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on that, I feel, and this has been said on both sides of the aisle, that I think with the Epstein files that there was so much. How am I trying to say this? There was so much crazy shit in those files that would have made not just Republicans, but Democrats, credible Democrats, well-known Democrats, and Republicans, and world leaders from all over the world, and people of importance that are popular or famous or very well-known individuals were in those files. Very, very well-known names in those files, that if it were to get out, that it would be so damning and so gut-punching information that would make both sides of the aisle look extremely bad, that it could cause potentially some sort of a civil war. So I feel that's potentially why it wasn't released, because you were in control of the government for 4 years. You had the House, you had the Senate, you had the presidency, you had everything. And then when you knew Donald Trump was going to run again, if you had any sort of damning information from the Epstein files on Donald Trump, why didn't you release it? You know what I mean? You catch my drift here. I think it was just so much crazy stuff in those files that it was going to make both sides look bad, and all these people throughout the world that are very well known as far as who those individuals are. It would have been catastrophic. Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton. Now, when they released those files on Bill Clinton, man, you knew that it was like, oh yeah, you kind of knew that you knew what the Trump administration was doing with those files, like putting Bill Clinton out there and all that stuff. I mean, come on now. Yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing with that. We're living in a sick society. This society right now is so, with AI and, with everybody's got a fucking camera anymore. Everybody's got a phone. People are so, not just AI, well, AI too is so believable nowadays. You don't know, you can't tell reality from fiction. Instead of helping people just record incidents happening instead of helping somebody. So if they knew that somebody was in trouble, instead of helping that individual, they recorded it with their phone. Right? Instead of, hey, maybe I shouldn't record this. Maybe I should try to help this person. You don't see that anymore. You really don't. It's concerning. People would rather record it. Why would they record it? Well, they want to go viral. That's an option. Maybe they know that if I record this and post it online, it's going to go viral. That's one thing. The other thing is they don't want to get involved in what they're seeing in front of them and potentially get harmed or get hurt themselves. I'd rather hide behind my phone or camera or whatever and record it. And then you got the people who generally have a heart and care, and they're like, I'm not filming this. I'm going to go help this person. I'm not filming it. I'm going to help them. How many incidents that we don't see that are filmed on a regular basis that the person that's filming the incident of what's happening in front of them, of the other person getting hurt by somebody else or something is happening to that person, that the person filming it knows that I could probably stop filming and fucking save this person. How often does that happen? That we don't hear about every day. You know what I mean? People would much rather, it's easier to pull out your phone and record it than it is to do something about a potentially serious incident that's unfolding in front of you and help that individual. They'd rather film it. It's kind of disgusting when you think about it. It really is. Yeah, humanity went out the window ages ago. I feel that it did. And not everybody is a total jackass. There is good people in the world. There generally is good people in the world, right? But the more you watch the news, you question that, and you can't help people that question that. But I feel like if you try not to look at the bad and everything and try to look at the good in people, it does help a little bit. But again, there's a lot of bad people out there, man. There's a lot. And you know what's missing in their lives, honestly? Is Jesus. I think that's missing in their lives. Nothing else. Maybe daddy issues. You know what I mean? Maybe some daddy issues. Or hating their parents, or maybe they had a really rough childhood, and these people just, go off on a downward spiral. But usually the people that are like that, they've had some sort of trauma or some sort of, crazy livelihood growing up in the household, or something traumatic has happened to those individuals that has caused them to be like that, or just something just snaps, right? And you question, why do people do what they do? Why do they do what they do? You never know what people are thinking anymore. And that's the thing that goes back to law enforcement. They don't know what you're going to do. They don't know what you're thinking. They really don't. When you get pulled over by a police officer, I watched a video one time of a police officer saying that, police officers are on pins and needles during a traffic stop. They may not look like it, but they're nervous. They really are. They're scared, practically scared to a certain extent, right? Because they have no idea how this is going to turn out. It's either going to be good or bad. But the whole thing of, should I give this person a speeding ticket or not? If that is the situation, you get pulled over for speeding, and then they say, is me giving this person a speeding ticket going to be the one thing that sets this person off? Or should I not give them a speeding ticket and actually try to be nice and be friendly and educate that individual? Is a speeding ticket worth the trouble or educating that person to just don't drive fast. Just stop doing that. Don't do that. And I'm kind of paraphrasing. I think the video was, it was something like they were trying to go through the police interview process, trying to get hired by a police department from out of the academy, or trying to get into the police academy and get hired by the police department. And one of the questions that the officer said during the interview to the candidate, and they said, if you pulled over somebody in a car for speeding and some other key factors were in place, and they said, would you give them a speeding ticket or something like that? And they said, well, your speeding tickets, I don't know. I probably shouldn't even talk anymore about it because I'm just paraphrasing here, but the gist of the whole thing is like a speeding ticket or giving them a warning could either set this person off or you make their day. Like, and the officer's sitting there thinking to themselves, this is either going to turn out really good or it's going to turn out really bad. And you ever notice that police officers touch the back of vehicles when they pull you over? You ever watch body camera footage from a police officer's dash cam? When they walk up behind a vehicle, they'll touch the vehicle with their fingers because they're leaving their fingerprints on the back of the vehicle. I never knew that for the longest time when I was younger. I was like, why do police officers touch other people's cars all the time? That's weird. My dumbass brain at the time wasn't thinking like, hey, yeah, it's because they're leaving their fingerprints, their DNA. So if something happens, they can identify the vehicle with their prints on it. So. Other professionals are used to that kind of stuff. I think you become, I don't think you ever become immune to, 100% immune to being a police officer to the point to where, am I going to come home that day or am I not? You know what I mean? Like that always is probably floating around in the back of their minds of saying, when I walk out that door, am I going to come back home that day? And I think it goes through police officers' minds all the time, and not just police officers, but everybody. To me, if I walk out that door, is that the last time I'm going to walk out that door, or am I going to come home that night? I think that, and most people take that for granted, but I think police officers think more about that than anything else because they have a very dangerous job. You know what I mean? And they might sit there and tell themselves, am I going to come home tonight to my family? De-escalation is the key. De-escalating. That's true. De-escalation is 100%. So that's why I like a lot of law enforcement officers, when you go to apply to be a police officer, they can give a rat's ass that you have a degree in criminal justice. Like, yeah, so did you and 6 other people that we just interviewed. It helps, but I feel that, yeah, you have a degree in criminal justice, but I would much rather, and don't get me wrong, that's great, but maybe I want to see somebody have a degree in psychology, right? Or, something simple like that. Oh, you have a degree in criminal justice? Okay. It's not required for you to get hired. You don't have to have a degree in anything, but police officers look at like, hey, you have a degree in psychology? Oh, tell me more. What else you got? Because at a degree in psychology, as we all know, that you know how to talk to people. De-escalations, right? If you're trying to de-escalate a situation at a traffic stop or, whatever it is, maybe the situation in Minneapolis, you know what I mean? Could have potentially helped the situation. Obviously, we have no idea if it would have. We have no clue. But, I think police departments would love to see candidates that have degrees in psychology, because that's like to me, a degree in psychology would be better than a degree in criminal justice. It's still okay. It's not bad, but I feel like having something almost like a one-upper. Like, yeah, I know how to talk to people. And that's so crucial in law enforcement nowadays if you know how to relate to that individual and you can talk to that person and potentially de-escalate a bad situation because you just know how to, I mean, that is so much more important than having a criminal justice degree. Tribalism is killing us. PTSD, cross-sanctionality. Deborah, welcome to the stream. I almost said welcome to the live stream. I don't know what I was saying there. I just had a tongue twister. Welcome to the live stream. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Deborah in the chat. Cash Patel syndrome. Say Cash Patel gets a lot of shit nowadays too. He gets a lot of stuff. Jesus is the only way to the Father. That is true. Amen. Yes. Amen. God bless for that comment. Absolutely. If you guys haven't already, and I've said this many of times throughout the live stream here tonight, and we're approaching close to the end here. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. It helps tremendously, guys. If you leave me a like on the stream, it goes a very long way to pushing our content out to other individuals that may not know who we are as far as the YouTube algorithm goes. So definitely give me a thumbs up. And if you're feeling a little spicy, hit the subscribe button too, and turn on all those notifications so you don't miss any time I go live or I upload a video as well. Make sure y'all are doing that too. Hey, Big Daddy, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Have a good night. Christ is King. Yes. Law enforcement aren't babysitters. Sometimes they have to be, you know, sometimes they have to be. They're trying to separate a potential domestic violence issue or whatever it is. Like you or an argument or something, you go sit over there and don't move until I tell you to. And then you go over here and stay over there and sit down and don't get up until I tell you to. Are we pro orange here? Okay. Are you talking about my shirt? Or are you talking about the other orange? Which orange are you referring to? I do have a little bit of orange here on my hoodie. We still have the UK, and those guys that count were just divided. If you're talking about the UK is a whole nother situation in itself. I can't get over like how downhill, if you call it, that country seems to be going is downhill real quick, and like it feels like they're going through what America went through during the Biden administration with their open borders. It feels like their borders are wide open and they just have an issue with immigration, and it's just, you know, people getting arrested for literally just putting out a video about something and that their country deemed illegal or whatever it is, and that person gets arrested. People are getting arrested for like the craziest stuff over there. It's really concerning. You know, the people over there probably can't do what I'm doing right now without being arrested probably 17 times over based on what we discussed in this video here today, this live stream. They'd probably be thrown in prison if you're living in the UK. I wouldn't doubt it. BPA from the plastic water bottle, bro. Hey, Lucky Austin, I recycle. And I don't drink out of plastic all the time. I do have a Yeti cup. But we do recycle in this house. Just FYI. I think what it is most people just, well, this says no BPA used in this water bottle. No BPA used at all. And when we buy water, like a case of water, when we buy it, it'll last for months. Like a 24 pack of water will last easily 90 plus days. Easy. We just don't buy a lot of water. We really don't. We do have an RO system. We use it a lot. But every once in a while, you're on the go. You want something cold? It's in the fridge. You grab it and you go. People are getting killed for the craziest things in this country. Yes. Yes. If people are crazy enough to go up to a police officer's vehicle and they're just sitting in their car and the police officer's life is literally taken just sitting in their patrol car of just some bystander coming up and just taking that cop's life or that law enforcement officer's life, literally just sitting in their car. I mean, if people are crazy enough to do that, then and crazy enough to try to assassinate a sitting president of this country, yeah, I mean, this is a very chaotic and crazy world that we're living in. It really is. And even for our country, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, I thought 2020 and that the year of, what is it, brotherly love or whatever it was with the BLM riots in Minneapolis and stuff. I thought for a minute there, and this is no bullshit, I didn't know what this country was going to look like from 1 month to the next. It felt like we were going to drift into a civil war. I really did. I thought this country was heading towards a civil war. And the day that Donald Trump almost lost his life, the day that he was almost assassinated, I thought that had he was assassinated, could potentially have started a civil war there too. So there was 2 times where I thought a civil war was going to break out. The summer of brotherly love or whatever they called it, the BLM riots that was happening, it seemed like all over the country. I was like, this is not good. This is not good. And then when Donald Trump was almost assassinated the first time, I was like, man, if he would have died that day, I feel like this country would have literally blew its top. You know what I mean? Those are the only 2 times where I thought this country, we were going to a civil war. Those are the 2 times. Oh, you're referencing the Minnesota shooting, but yeah, that too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it goes back to like I feel like the mainstream media is responsible for a lot of the craziness that you see in this country right now. I feel the mainstream media has a very big part of what you see unfolding in this country, whether it's good or bad, but more so nowadays, I just feel like it's all bad. It's never good. Obviously, bad things sell. People are addicted to seeing all the crazy chaos that's happening. So I think, like, obviously what you see in Minnesota, with the fraud, people want to see that. They're like, they're addicted to seeing bad things. People, what is that? Morbid curiosity. People have that too. I know that's completely different, but I think that has something to do with it. People, that sells bad news sells more than good news, if that makes sense. So when something bad happens in our country, depending upon how big of a scale that was, as far as like how bad it was and who it happened to, the media flocks more, it feels like, to that, because they know that that's going to get ratings than it does just talking about everyday things that might be good in this country. All the bad things make money in the news media, obviously. I don't think anything good really sells good nowadays. Like, a good attention doesn't really doesn't bring in the cash like reporting on all the bad shit that happens in this country. Lies sell more than the facts. Yeah, and depending upon who you watch or where you're getting your information from, and what your opinion is on things. I feel like, I feel like that's a big part of it too. For example, if you watch MS Now, most likely you probably hate Donald Trump. You probably are a Democrat. You're most likely a liberal, and a socialist. Possibly. If you watch Fox News, you might be an independent. You might be an independent too watching MS Now. But if you watch Fox News, you could be an independent. You could be a Republican. Most likely you are. And you're probably a conservative. You're probably somebody that's pro-America, business owners, pro just anything America. You're probably just pro-America, period. Same with Newsmax. And if you watch CNN, again, you're probably an independent at some point. You're probably a Democrat, but you know what I mean? That's how divided it is. Like, in a nutshell, Republicans watch Fox News and Democrats watch MS Now and CNN and probably ABC News and CBS and all those other, state news networks. And Republicans you're probably going to watch Newsmax, Fox News, News Nation, all those other places, right? But it just depends, it really does. But I feel like independent journalism that is looking at it from all sides, you're not just totally one-sided about it. See, that's another thing too, in my opinion, that this country is like totally with just one side. You're either on this side or this side. It feels like there's no in between. And if there is, it's rare, right? It's either you are for this or you're for this, right? And it's hard to find people that agree to disagree or agree a little bit on this end and agree a little bit on that end, right? I can find things that Democrats say that I can agree with, and I can find things that Republicans say that I disagree with, and things that I agree with Republicans and things I agree with Democrats. So I can see both sides. If you're totally one-sided about everything, you're not getting the full picture, right? It's kind of like what you see with the shooting in Minneapolis, with the ICE agent there. If you're only watching one source of media, then you're only going to get one side of the story, right? If you watch, again, it goes back. If you watch Fox News, you're probably going to get a little bit of both sides, but honestly, you're going to get more of one side, right? But if I watch CNN, you're going to get a whole nother angle, and it's going to be completely opposite. Chances are it's going to be completely opposite from what's being reported by the other news stations, right? So if you're one of those people who aren't open-minded, you're just going to listen to what they're telling you, right? The people that listen to, I'm only going to listen to MS Now, and I'm only going to just get my news information from MS Now. I'm not going to get it from Fox. I'm not going to get it from CNN. I'm not going to get it from X. I'm not going to get it from Facebook. I'm not going to get it from any other news media or news source anywhere else. I'm only going to watch MS Now. Well, to me, you're leaving yourself out to the other side of other things that are coming out, right? You're just leaving out other possibilities of what could potentially be happening on the other side. And there's so many people that are just so one-sided nowadays. I think that's another issue in itself, that people just don't have their own thoughts anymore. They listen to the media to get whatever facts that they say are facts or whatever, and then you just run with it, and that's it. And then if you still feel strongly passionate about that situation and you're not open to the other side, you're always going to disagree with the other side. Always. You're going to think they're crazy. You're going to think you're wrong. Nobody wants to talk to each other about anything anymore. It's just really sad, man. So I feel like you should just be open-minded and no one's open-minded anymore. It's either you're on this side or you're this side. You know what I mean? And it's like, can we think for ourselves? Do we have to continuously watch and get our information from literally one news network? You have, like, we watch, I'll be honest, we watch a lot of Fox News in this house, but we also watch a little bit of CNN. We watch a little bit of MS Now. We watch a little bit of ABC News. We watch a little bit of CBS. We watch, we get information from social media. Like, we are not just 100% one source of media all the time. I'm not. I mean, I get it from wherever I can get it, especially with this channel. I don't want to be one-sided all the time. I try to be open-minded. To keep an open mind. Who was that? Was that Bruce Lee that said that? He said, how did he say it? He's like, open your mind. That's what he said. He said, open your mind. Become like water. So if you put water in the cup, it becomes the cup. If you put water in the bottle, it becomes the bottle. Be water, my friend. Or whatever he said. Remember that whole, I don't know if anybody ever saw that interview that he did, but he's like, open your mind, be formless, be shapeless. That's what it was. Like water. I don't know what I'm going with that. It just kind of popped in my head. Like, be open-minded. Yeah. Open your mind, become oneself. There you go. That's what I was trying to say. Watching all news sources doesn't mean you have an open mind. I think what that tells people is that you're trying to figure out what's going on from different angles. Because Fox is going to report this way. CNN is going to report it this way. I'm not just totally one-sided on one news network. I'm trying to, like, what was CNN saying? Okay. I'll take that information. Now I'm going to go to Newsmax. All right. What are they saying? Okay. Well, what is X saying? What is people on Facebook saying? What is, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not just totally Fox News and that's it. Right. And I'm not going to watch anything else. No, because I want to see different angles from different opinions. And I can agree. Like, if I watch something on CBS, I'm like, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I agree with that one. Yeah, for sure. And if I watch Newsmax, I'm like, yeah, I agree with that too. So I can agree with all sides. I just want to see what other people are saying. I'm not just totally one-sided all the time. That's all I'm saying. Like, just be open-minded and get your information from wherever you can get it and not just stick to one thing. It's kind of like that phrase of don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that. You know, you want to have options here. Bro Fox said in a court they are an entertainment channel. It's better than Jerry effing Springer. I don't know about that. I never heard of that phrase before. Where did they say that at? What court were they in when they said that? But isn't all news media entertainment? Listen, I'm going to disagree with you on that there. And here's why. All news outlets are entertainment. All of them. It's literally a sit down and watch what flies out of these journalists' mouths. You can watch CNN and get a totally one-sided, just like, holy cow, where did they get that information from? And you listen to what these people say and you're like, what the fuck? And then you turn all over to Fox News and you're like, wow, that is a whole nother situation in itself. Where did that come from? Holy cow. You can get to, like, it's entertainment. And at the end of the day, they're fighting for your viewership. It's all about numbers. It's all about ratings. I want you to continue to watch me and nobody else. I don't want you to get your information from anywhere else. It's called ratings. And it shows that if more people are watching CNN versus MS Now, that just means that more most likely probably trust CNN over MS now, potentially. And more people are just watching that network. But does that mean that they prefer to watch that network over CNN? Yeah, obviously the ratings are there. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But when you look at it from an entertainment perspective, it's all entertainment. It's all entertainment. They want you to be entertained. They want you to like what you see. So they want you to keep coming back, right? They want you to keep coming back. Trevette used, this is nonsense. You can keep scrolling, my man. You don't have to stay here. You can keep going. You can keep on cruising. Journalism should give you the information, not the narrative. That's 100% true. They need to give you the facts. But the problem is they might not give you, they'll give you one side of what they feel is facts, and then you turn it someplace else or look at it someplace else. And then there's a whole nother side of facts there. And they're saying that side is wrong. Here's the facts. And then you get the facts from someplace, and then you turn it someplace else and they're like, they're wrong. Here's the facts. Nope, that's not true. What they said wasn't true. That's not the facts. Here's the facts, right? That's why you have to be open-minded and think for yourself and have your own conclusion about what's really happening. Who's right? Who's wrong? You make that determination. Right. Yes. And there are enough sources that do that. Oh yeah. Just defining people that don't care to look. Yeah. You got to do your research. You just don't listen to one side all the time. Go out there and find it for yourself. But do you know where to find the actual facts? Yeah. AI. I'm just kidding. I think at the end of the day, you have to just make a decision on what you feel is factual based on your evidence, based on what you see. You know what I mean? Like you have to sit there unless it like the only way, like, you know, if something is factual, usually is in a court of law, right? Somebody is convicted, they're tried, they're sentenced based on the information. Here's the facts. Here's what happened. And boom, that's one way, right? But saying what happened in a situation like in Minneapolis today, I think that's more so you're just going to have to wait and see what happens with it and then come to your own conclusion. Completely agree with the people must understand the game. Otherwise you get baited into politics. Yep. And it's easy to bait somebody into politics. It's very easy. It's very easy to pull somebody from one side to the other very quickly. I mean, we saw it in the 2020 election where people voted for, you can say the election was stolen or whatever your thought process is on that. But, you know, a lot of people thought Donald Trump was going to win that election, and then everybody said it was stolen and yada, yada, yada. And Biden ended up pulling off that election. And then everybody saw the direction that the country was going in. And I feel like people were like, we made a mistake. Please come back and run for president again so we can vote you back in office. I think people realize that voting for Biden was not the answer. We shouldn't have done that. Please come back. So, but yeah, news networks are so good at pulling you from one side to the other. They're very good at that, and they do it on purpose. They want to piss you off by saying, well, I can't believe CNN said that. I agree with Fox. I'm going to go over here and watch Fox. And then Fox News says something that pisses you off, and you're like, the hell with Fox. I'm not going to watch Fox anymore. I'm going to go watch Newsmax. Then Newsmax might piss you off. And then you go watch CNN again, or, you know, like most people are just kind of in this circulation of media. Like I don't disagree with CNN, but I can't stand it when they say this. So I'm going to go watch Fox or whatever it is. You know what I mean? But statistically, if you're a Republican, you're going to watch Fox News. And if you're a Democrat, you're probably going to watch CNN or MS Now. And if you're an independent, you're probably going to watch all news networks just to try to figure out what side you feel is spitting truth or spitting facts, or you agree with this side or agree with that side. You know what I mean? But I'm more of like just an open-minded person. I just don't stay I don't stay with one side. I try to listen to everybody, right? Whether I like them or not. Like, I used to think Anderson Cooper was awesome on CNN. We used to watch Anderson Cooper religiously. Don Lemon. We used to watch Don Lemon, Aaron Burnett. We used to really watch their shows, their programs on CNN. But ever since Donald Trump came down them escalators, damn, something just went and snapped in these people, and they ended up being like, that whole network just made a 180 out of nowhere for no reason. And it was very sad because I'm like, damn, you guys used to like the Wolf Blitzer. I call him the Wolf. The Wolf. Like, we used to watch Wolf Blitzer all the damn time. And we were CNN gurus and just soaking up all the information that CNN was providing to us at that time. And then when Donald Trump ran for president, man, it just went fucking south real quick. I'm like, what happened? You guys used to make so much sense, but all of a sudden you just turned into this crazy Trump hating network that just, like virtually overnight, it's just, they lost their minds and I couldn't watch it anymore. I'm like, you guys, there's more going on in the world than just Donald Trump running for president. You guys are just literally hating on this man so much. It's like, I can't watch it anymore. And they haven't been the same ever since. And it's really sad because I felt like the CNN used to be a very credible news network. They haven't been that way for a long time. And ended up just watching gathering our information from other news sources. Whereas we used to be one-sided and watch CNN a lot. You know what I mean? They all knew what and who Trump is. Tried to warn you. Try to warn us about how Donald Trump was, or how he is as an individual. Is that what you're saying? Money corrupts. Yep. I agree. Money and money makes you do all sorts of crazy shit. It really does. Like, being greedy and just money in general. Yeah. It causes you to do all sorts of crazy stuff. Who Zumba, who attacked their own government? What are you talking about? He was a rock star up until he was the Republican nominee. Dude, yeah, Donald Trump was so loved. And we don't have to go down this whole Trump train thing. I did that a lot on the last live stream, but that dude was so loved by so many people. He had so many friends. He had so many different people in his circle of friends that, Democrats, Republicans. And I think he said he used to be a Democrat and he's donated to like the Democratic Party a lot. And he had just friends all over the place. Right. And then he's like, I used to have a lot of friends, but when I ran for president and won, I don't have so many friends anymore. And that's okay. Because that showed him that, people really your friends, or because you were a billionaire and you were, donating money, or you were just generous with your finances, whatever it is. But then when he ran for president, it's like people just hated him, like for legitimately no reason. If you hate Donald Trump that much and you can't find any good in what this man does, then you're just a hateful person. In my opinion, if you cannot find any good that he's ever done as president, or just anything that he's ever done throughout his life, if you can't find any good in what this man has done, you hate him for everything, you're just a hateful person, man. Like, and I feel sorry for you. You know what I mean? Like you have no sympathy, you have no empathy, you have no remorse for people. Like, you're just a hateful person. for no reason. No reason at all. Donald Trump can literally give everybody $1 million in this country and people will still find a reason to hate this man. It doesn't matter what he does. He will always be hated regardless of how good he does. He will always be hated. Always. He's not a good person, period. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So, Seller, you can't tell me anything good about Donald Trump. Like nothing. Like nothing at all. Anything good that he might have said. Anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Just something. Something. And there's people that used to work for him at Trump Tower that have stories about things that he's done for them out of the kindness of his heart that was not getting media attention, like at all. And he would just do it out of the kindness of their heart. Rather, it's either paying off medical bills, paying off homes, you know, giving them money for something, or just something he's done good for the people that knew him, that used to work for him, or just was in his circle. You know, there's stories like that all over the place. You just have to go out there and find it. But if you listen to CNN all the time, you're going to get all bad shit about Donald Trump. You listen to MSNBC or MS Now, you're going to get bad shit on Donald Trump all day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it doesn't matter how good this country does. As long as this man is sitting in the White House, he will always be hated. Nothing is ever good enough for anybody. And it's really sad. Nothing is ever good enough because it's Donald Trump's fault. And then it always comes back to being Trump's fault. You ever realize that? You ever notice that? That no matter what, this man can't do anything or say anything. He can't, it doesn't matter what he does. There's nothing he can do to satisfy people. He will just always be hated for no reason. None. Oh, I mean, there's people from other countries that love Donald Trump, that literally love this guy, and they can only dream of someone like Donald Trump being a leader of their country. You know what I mean? I'm gone. You're brainwashed. All right, Seller. Have a good night, my man. Have a good night. And again, you're not going to please everybody. I'm brainwashed. Okay. Got it. I see. Whatever. I guess I'm just, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm brainwashed. I'm totally one-sided. Okay. And that's the beauty part about living in America. You're not told what to think or believe in. You're not told to talk a certain way, to act a certain way, to follow all these crazy ass laws and being ran under a dictatorship. You know, go live in China. Fuck, those people can't say or do anything without, you know, being thrown into prison for the rest of their lives. You know? If you go live in China, go live anywhere. That's the thing. You really want to know what pisses me off? People take their freedom for granted and their everyday simple tasks in lives for granted. They take everything for granted in this country, and it's really aggravating. I am so grateful to be able to wake up in this country every day, just to be able to wake up knowing that I live in the United States of America. We're the only country in the world that allows us the freedoms to come and go and say whatever the fuck we want and disagree with our leaders of this country without being thrown in prison or get put to death or any of that crazy shit, right? You live here, you have won the lottery by being born here. If you wake up tomorrow morning, you have won the lottery because you are born in this country and you have so much freedom, even though people don't think you have any freedom whatsoever. Our freedoms are gone. Our First Amendment's gone and this is gone and yada, yada, yada. Go live. Nobody is telling you to stay here. Rosie O'Donnell left. She went to Ireland. She'll be back. Yeah, all these people that want to live someplace else. Or they always talk about how fucked up our country is and how shitty our country is, how racist this country is, how bad it is to live here every day. Take your shit, pack it up, and go fucking live someplace else. I don't care where it is. Pick it. I don't care if it's Canada. I don't care if it's China, Japan, South Korea. Go live in North Korea. Go live in Scotland. Go live in the UK. Go live in the UK right now. Go live in parts of Africa. Go live in Egypt. Go live in Brazil. Go live in Ukraine. Go live in Russia. Go pick the country that is the most identical to the United States of America in terms of our laws, our freedoms, and everything that we have here. That is literally identical, which the only country I can think of right now that is identical, practically almost identical to the United States, is the UK. Go live there. And go live there for 30 days. Go live there for a year. And then you tell me that that country is better than the United States. I guarantee you, the people that live in this country that hate our country don't have the balls to go pick up their shit and go pack it up and go live someplace else. They don't have the balls to do it. All they'll sit there and talk about how bad we are as a country, but they never put their money where their mouth is and get the hell out and go live someplace else. You know what I mean? That pisses me off more than anything. It really does. It gets under my skin. People that think this country is so bad, that they got it so bad that they want to go live someplace else, but they never do. They never do. They never want to live anywhere else, but they'll sit here and complain about how awful we are as a nation and how shitty this country is. It's a mental illness that this country, that most people in this country have right now. And to be honest with you, a lot of it is because of Donald Trump. I have never heard of so many people talk about how much they hate Donald Trump or for any president of this country ever. I have never heard of so much hatred towards one man to where people literally hate our country because of one man. I've never seen that before, and you probably will never see it again. So people like Rosie O'Donnell that went to Ireland, she'll be back. She'll be back. Nobody said they hate this country. People say it all the time. People say it all the time. I don't like living here. I'm going to go live someplace else. People say it all the time. People hate this country because of the president. They really do. There's people in this country that hate living here, but they continue to live here and use our resources. You see it all the time. All the time. All the time. You never hear anyone say, I hate this country. Just, dude, go look at some of these protests right now. They sit there and they fucking burn the American flag on the ground. That's not hatred to you? That doesn't say, I hate this country to you? If they burn the flag in the street? That's hatred to me. In my opinion, that's hatred. You have enough hatred in your heart to pick up an American flag and light it on fire. The very country that allows you to burn that flag in the street that you hate so much, that allows you to burn the flag and walk away and go home like nothing ever even happened. That's hatred to me. That is hatred for this country. Move to Denmark. See, I can't think of any. I can't think of a better country in this world other than the United States of America. I just can't. I can't. We're it, bro. We're it, bro. I'm him. When it comes to the United States, we're it. There's no other better country in this world. Period. Hand stop. Like, that's it. Burning the flag is a sign of disrespect. Yes, it is. And it is a spit in the face for the people that fought and died under that flag. It's a spit in the face because those people are the reason why we can sit here and have a conversation, that we can come and go freely about throughout our country without being persecuted by the leaders of this country or being thrown in prison for our beliefs. And that's the one thing that that the people have fought and died for under that flag. And people go out there and they burn it. I think it should be illegal. I think it should be illegal to burn the American flag. I think it should. But will it ever be? Probably not. Because that's your First Amendment right. You're allowed to go out there and do that. I think it's disgusting. And I think you have some deep emotional problems that you should probably talk to a psychiatrist about why you hate as much as you do. But for somebody to, because you can't go to any other, go to China and try to burn their flag in Shanghai. Go to China and try to do that. It probably will never happen, ever. Go to Russia. Can you burn flags in Russia? I doubt it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just a slap in the face to people who fought and died under that flag, and you just burn it like it's a piece of garbage. It's disrespectful. Sad. Iceland's another one. Yeah, I don't know about how I can't think of any other laws that's similar to the United States other than the UK, but even the UK's having problems right now. They need to find God. Yep, they do. They need to find God. It is a slap in the face for our military. It is, because those people have literally fought and died for people to be able to do stuff like that. To be able to keep our freedoms. You know what I mean? To be able to do the things that we do in this country that we take for granted every single day. You know what I mean? Just to be able to wake up in a bed, on a mattress, in a pillow under your head with a warm blanket, to be able to use a toothbrush to brush your teeth, to be able to get into a car that you bought and paid for with your own money, and to go to a job that you earn, that you make a good living at, and to be able to go to a grocery store full of food and water and all these things that, you know, medications and all these things that we just don't think about it. We just do it because it's provided to us on a silver platter every single day. But we never stop to think to ourselves like, fuck, man, I am so happy to be born in this country, to live here, and to be able to have access to all these different things that a lot of countries just do not have or choose not to have. You know, you won the lottery, my friend. Oh, absolutely. Great stream. Thanks for the truth. You better believe it. I appreciate you being here. But Trumps are like 100% more extreme, man. That's the point. What, you talking about Trump supporters? Obviously, we're not like Russia, stupid. Why don't you go there and find out for yourself and then come back here and report to me? Obviously, we're not like Russia. Come on. I know that. You missed my point. My point is the people that don't like living here for whatever reason, they hate our country, but they never want to pack up and go live someplace else. And I was throwing Russia out there as an example. Go live in Russia. Go live in China. Go live in Japan. You'll never have those freedoms ever, anywhere you live. So happy to vote for a fascist 3 times. Listen, he's going to be out of the Oval Office in 3 years, and then you can harp and talk about how someone else is a fascist in the next. It's probably going to be JD Vance. Just saying. It's looking like it's going to be JD Vance as a Republican nominee, and I don't even know what it's going to be like on the Democratic side. I have no idea. You never know. We might come across a Democratic president or a Democratic nominee who is just like that thinks like a Republican, but is a Democrat. But it might be overstepping that boundary a little bit. I doubt that would happen, especially nowadays. But you never know. You never know. You might come across a solid ass Democrat. You never know. You never know. Obama was a solid ass Democrat. He was probably the last one. You think he will live to be 83? Yeah, I do. I think Donald Trump's going to live to be 106. Obama third term. I think people were saying one more term or four. No, they were saying 4 more years. Y'all remember that when he gave his like final speech as president, like to a final rally or wherever he was, and people were chanting 4 more years, 4 more years, and he's like, I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. But he probably would have had a pretty good shot at winning again. Potentially, if he was to run a third term, if presidents were even able to run until they lost. But listen, I thought I thought Barack Obama was a good president. A real American doesn't exercise the freedom to disrespect your country. You can easily get involved with local and federal government to make change and educate yourself. Yes, we have choices. We live in a democracy. You have so much freedom in this country to vote for whoever you want to vote for. And no, we do not live in a dictatorship. And no, we have no king. There's no king protest. Yeah, I laughed. I laughed when I saw that. I thought that was funny. No kings. Do you really think if Donald Trump was a king, he would just not continue to stay in power? He would never leave. And the country would be ran exactly how we wanted it to be run. These people are crazy. Do you still think Obama was a good president? At the time he was president, I thought he was. If he was to run again, no. Wouldn't vote for him. That's just me though. Where my thing was, where I got pumped for Obama is when we killed Osama bin Laden. When he walked up to the podium and I said, tonight I report to the American people that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden. And when I heard that, I was a fan. I was a big fan. Loved it. But not now. I can't right now. I can't. And his wife I don't think his wife would be a good president either. Because a lot of people are like, oh, who's going to be the first woman president? I don't think it's her. I just don't. I don't think it's Michelle Obama. I think it's going to require to have our first female president of the United States. It's going to require somebody who, I mean, honestly, for me, it's going to require somebody who is very open-minded, but at the same time, who is very strong-minded. Almost like Tulsi Gabbard. Like I felt like Tulsi Gabbard would have been a decent president. You can agree or disagree with me on that. You know what I mean? But I felt like at the time, if Donald Trump was going to choose a vice president, I think she would have been a pretty good choice for a vice president at the time. And if she obviously she didn't win president, but I think she'd be a good vice president and president. I 100% agree. Yeah, I think she would have, though. I really do. She knows how to carry herself very well. She did that when she was running in 2020. Dude is living in a cult life. Okay. Can anyone on the left please tell me what we should have when we should have voter IDs? Should always have voter ID. Always. Tulsi's great. Tulsi, I became a fan of Tulsi Gabbard when her and Kamala Harris were going back and forth. That's when I became a big fan of Tulsi Gabbard. Something about she lied when she said she never smoked marijuana, but she actually did. I can't remember exactly how that went, but when they were kind of going back and forth during the when they were both running for president, that was good. I remember that. Nick Fuentes is getting a lot of attention nowadays. So a lot of back and forth with I can tell you a lot of back and forth is going to happen when the next presidential election rolls through. A lot. There's going to be a lot of candidates running for 2028. A lot. But, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are in the chat right now, I'm just going to say it one more time before we call it a night. It is approaching that time to end the live stream. Do me a favor. I'm not a whiz at this. Obviously, I'm not a political commentator, if you will. I just have opinions on things, whether people agree with them or not. I really don't care if they do, but if you do agree with them or disagree with them, whatever it is, we can agree to disagree, or we can agree, whatever. If you enjoy what you see here on the stream, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all notifications so you don't miss any time that I go live or post a video, which I'll be posting a video probably here in the next couple days. Be sure you guys do that. And again, my opinions are mine alone. It's just how I feel about whatever the situation might be, or whatever the topic might be on a video or a live stream. I just do my thing over here. I have a lot to talk about. Obviously, we've been live for over 2 hours. I can keep going, but I don't want to keep going because if I don't stop, I mean, we'll be 6-7 hours into this thing. Easy. I have a lot to get off my chest. Let's just say that. I have a lot to talk about. I'll talk about anything. I can go from skateboards to s'mores like that. You know what I mean? That's how my brain works. I can go from talking about number 2 pencils to the type of wood it's made from, to religion, to just the most random off the wall crazy stuff like that. That, like, my brain, just at the drop of a hat, I can switch topics really quick. Oh, unlimited. I'll be talking, man. Trust me. Come back. Watch my videos. Watch the live streams. I mean, we can keep going, man. If I don't stop myself, I can spew some shit like all day long. But I appreciate you guys. I really, really do. I'm going to go ahead and call it right here. We are literally like 52 views away from having a pretty good successful stream on the shorts. Here's the thing about the shorts. The shorts is where obviously a lot of the content is being recognized on this channel, but where this channel will be successful for the future is if you come back and watch it on the long form content. And obviously if you're just subscribed. So the thing with YouTube is you have to look at it like this. YouTube shorts is where your discoverability is at, but where the content creator is going to be the most successful is through the long form content, which I'm currently live on right now. So in the future, for anybody that has subscribed to the channel and turned on the notifications, next time you see me go live, come back to the horizontal stream and not the shorts. Come back to the horizontal stream. So that helps. I don't want to get into like how analytics work and stuff like that, but for a channel to be successful, is through the horizontal feed of a live stream, if that makes sense. All right, you guys, I appreciate you for coming in here and saying hello and putting up with my craziness and listen to me rant about all sorts of stuff. But I'll say this, and then I'll go ahead and end the stream. We don't know the facts fully about what happened in Minneapolis. We really don't. We only see with what we can see with our eyes, and obviously what's being reported from day to day. I don't know what's going to happen to the ICE officer. For me, is he going to be tried in federal court? Probably not. Is he going to be tried at the local level? No. I feel like if he was to be tried at a local level, it would just be thrown out by a judge because he's not going to be able to because he's a federal agent. The whole situation is sad. It really is. I feel like it should have never happened. I feel like she should have just taken off and just went the other way, turned the other cheek, if you will. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. So I feel bad for her family. I feel bad for her children. I feel bad for her friends because they honestly, they lost a friend. Somebody lost a friend. Somebody lost a parent. Somebody lost a loved one. And that's never a good thing. It's very sad. So, hopefully if anything, we might be able to see something good come from this, but you probably won't. You just won't. But you can always hope, right? You can always hope. But again, the whole situation is very, very sad. It really is. We'll probably hear from Donald Trump about it in the coming days about his thought process on the whole thing. But I'm pretty sure he's going to be more so, on the side of the federal agent, obviously. So, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, should she have been there? It was her right to be there that day. Nobody told her not to go. Just like anybody else could have went there. It could have been anybody that went there. So it could have been me, it could have been you if we were in that mindset. So it's just the whole outcome is just very nah. We know you don't care. No, I do care. Honestly, I really do. I just don't feel like it's my honest opinion is she should have never been there. She shouldn't have been doing what she was doing, but here we are. Right. And rather if it's justified by the officer or not, I'll let you all decide that. If you're going to ask me if I feel like it's justified right now, yes. And when you look at cases like Tennessee versus Gardner, when you look at law enforcement, and I won't get into statistics on that or anything, but go look at that, go pull up that court case, Tennessee versus Gardner, and you'll be able to see that stand your ground law. I believe it's Tennessee versus Gardner. I believe that's what it was. So, that might get brought up if he is tried at the federal level. If somebody does try to try him for whatever those charges could be, that'll be something to really look for. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, of course it's irrelevant because you don't care. It's not. Are you talking to me? I just have an opinion on it. Of course I care. I'm not a hateful person. I generally do care. There's things I really don't care about, but that's for other, not just this, but just things that I feel like is just totally, just off the wall crazy. But for situations like this, of course I care, because somebody lost a parent, somebody lost a loved one, a friend, and it's sad, man. It really is. It's sad. Hey, Jenny, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We'll catch you on the next one. And everyone else, you have a good night as well. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, I did have some music I was going to play during the live stream, but we never got around to it. I get preoccupied about things. I really do. And I just forget. I get sidetracked. But we're playing a little bit of music now. But ladies and gentlemen, until next time, we will see everybody on the next live stream. Have a great rest of your night. I appreciate y'all. Be safe out there. We live in a crazy world. Always be vigilant. Be aware of your surroundings. And take care of each other. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace out.